Namaste and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. Is the Telangana government taking the right stand, ladies and gentlemen? Can we have different yardsticks to measure hate? Is it okay that a Raja Singh is arrested for his derogatory comments, but those who step out onto the streets and call for and make these Sar Tan Se Juda comments, those members of the AIMIM, which is in alliance with the ruling disposition in Telangana, they do not get censored, they do not get arrested, they do not get reprimanded for provoking and also instigating public disorder and taking law into your own hands. How is this Talibani diktat and this Talibani medieval mindset making root in India? And it's being allowed space by those people who claim that they disagree with these calls of Sar Tan Se Juda. There is a lot that needs to be answered. But more importantly, how is it that the administration has not taken action against people who have taken children, minors, on scooter backs and made them chant bigoted hate slogans right in front of the Charminar? How is this now becoming the norm on our streets? And is that not a cause for concern? Is cracking down on hate a one-sided approach that's coming through? And is that fair, ladies and gentlemen? That's the question that we ask. Have a look at what's happened in terms of the crackdown on hate. Two different approaches. So Raja Singh gets reprimanded, his video insulted, so the party suspends him. Like Nupur Sharma was suspended, Raja Singh suspended from the BJP. Show cause notice issued, and why should you not be expelled to the question that's asked? He's arrested and he's got bail from the court because due procedure was not followed by the Telangana police. The arrest was deemed illegal, the manner in which he was arrested, and that's why he was released. On the other hand, an AIMIM corporator, he's just one of the many offenders. There is an AIMIM other member also of the party. There are members, somebody who ran the social media platform of the AIMIM from 2012 to 2019. All of them have read separate protests where they have made calls not condemning Raja Singh, but Sar Tan Se Juda calls. They have called for beheading at multiple locations in Hyderabad led by AIMIM members. Then there are Congress leaders who have also jumped in to say threatening physical action against Raja Singh. They are all free right now. How? Why? Is the rule of law different based on what political side they are and what community section of society they belong to and whether or not it fits a particular political narrative? Why no action taken against Zafar Khan is a question. AIMIM is distancing itself, but have they suspended? They say they do not agree. Asaduddin Owaisi is on record saying he does not agree with Sar Tan Se Juda calls. And why hasn't he suspended the AIMIM members who have been caught on tape making the Sar Tan Se Juda call? You can go ahead and keep up an anti-Raja pitch, saying what Raja has done is wrong and you want to go after him. But then go after your own people who are making the beheading calls if you believe that you are a moderate and you do not subscribe to such language and such attitude. Although Mr. Akbaruddin Owaisi's video from 9 years old is also going viral now, where he's demeaned Hindu deities, and he has also called Hindu deities, including Ram, including Lakshmi, Ganesha, and many others. He has called all of them collectively manhus 9 years ago. No apology has been forthcoming. No suspension from the party has happened. No condemnation has happened from the party leader. 9 years later. So who are they to preach when they don't practice is another question. And these provocations don't stop with one person. DCP, the activist Adbao Kashyap leading the Sar Tan Se Juda call, so many others where action has not been taken. Let's dive into the debate straight up, ladies and gentlemen. Why is this one-sided crackdown on hate is a question that we ask. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is with us. Ratan Sharda, Taslim Ahmed Rahmani and Subhrashta. Namaste to all my panelists. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, you say something, you should be booked if it is publicly offensive, if you are instigating hatred, if you are instigating violence. But does that rule differ depending upon whether your name is Kashaf or Raja or Abhijit or Abdul?
Unfortunately, Anand, I think we all know the answer to that, and the answer is yes. Because unfortunately, in this country, there are two issues here. The first is the fact that the more violent the community, the more willing to threaten and have the street veto, they end up getting their way. The second is we are all victims of appeasement politics here. And in Telangana, I think we all know which way the appeasement goes. Second, I think it's very important we make the distinction between what Raja said and what the guys protesting against Raja said. Raja definitely insulted the Prophet and things like that. Fine. Those were insults. What these protesters from the AIMIM did was to call for the execution of a person through completely illegal means. Beheading is not a punishment in India. Second, you can't call for beheading. That is a judicial punishment to be given out by the judiciary. You can only ask for the judiciary to be talking about this. The third, I have been watching the statements all these AIMIM characters have been putting out, is the fact that they claim, oh, you did not take action against, Anurag Thakur and things like that. What did Anurag Thakur say? He said, Desh ke gaddaron ko goli maro, etc., etc.
Yeah, goli maro salon ko,
I mean, I'm not going to complete that. You complete that. But the thing is, firing by execution is a legal method in India as per the Armed Forces Act, the Air Force Act section 163. And he was asking for the government to do it. Treason is punishable by death in this country. Insulting the Prophet is not punishable by death in this country. These people are coming out, they are threatening. We have already seen, and see the burden of maintaining the peace is on these vicious protesters, because we saw what happened the last time this happened a few months back. 12, 13, 14, I forget how many people got killed. Many of them had their throats slit. ISIS style, the slitting, the slow chopping of the necks was put on camera. In spite of all of that, these people are out there. They are going scot-free. There is no action taken against them. It seems to me that the state of Telangana has forgotten its basic duty. It has forgotten the sense of scale of what insult to religious beliefs is and what a call to murder is. Tell me, in which civilized part of the world can an insult to religious sentiments and a call to murder be equated? Is a speech crime the same as a actual physical crime? And no, that's to ISIS-style execution and completely unacceptable.
No, and this is, you may have opposition to somebody. So there were so many people who insulted Mr. Rahmani, who insulted the Shivling during the Gyanvapi debate, who called the Shivling lots of names. So did people step out and say, no, Sartan se Juda?
You are wrong, Anand. Anand, you are wrong. If this is the topic of your debate,
no, I am asking you, sir. I am asking you. So people can have difference of opinion. No, you can file a complaint. No, you can file a complaint.
Are you not informed? Are you not informed about the incident?
What?
Then if you mean to spread
no, I am saying no, Mr. Rahmani. Did I take anybody's name?
I'm not part of it.
Did I take anybody's name? I just said, sir.
You have taken my name.
No, I have not taken your name.
You have blamed me.
I have not blamed you. I have never blamed you. I have not blamed you, sir. I said there were many people who I said many people. I did. Why are you taking it that I am talking about you? I am not talking about you. I am asking you.
My name, Anand, just now.
No, I said, Mr. Rahmani, I am asking you a question. Mr. Rahmani, I am asking you a question. I don't know if guilty conscience pricks the mind. That's a different matter. But I did not take your name, sir. I said, Mr. Rahmani, I have a question.
Not at all.
There were many people. No, not at all, sir. There were many people who called the Shivling at Gyamrapi a fountain, a stone. What is the big deal? And there were very, very derogatory remarks made. But how many Hindus came out and said, Sartan se Juda, sir?
Find them and arrest them.
There were complaints. They should register complaints against people who hurt a sentiment. But who are these people who are going out and endorsing Sartan se Juda? And they are encouraging young children to come out and chant it. You endorse such behavior.
I demanded it earlier also on the national television channels that the people who are leading such kind of sloganeering must be identified through the video cameras, must be booked, arrested and punished. There must be no laxity at the part of our police administration or our investigating agencies at all. Because I cannot and nobody can accept this kind of sartan se juda. The person who is calling at first the Gustakh-e Rasool ki ek saza, that person has to be identified, booked and punished so that this entire lot can be discouraged. And we have sufficient laws in our country to try them and to punish them.
Okay, let me
and
ask you
I
then,
do
Mr.
not
Rahman.
agree with Muslim Personal Law Board and Jamiyat Ulama Hind when they say that there must be a separate law for blasphemy. No. We already have sufficient laws. If we can practice those laws, we can implement those laws, we can check this menace.
So let me ask
This
you,
is
Mr.
what
Rahman.
my opinion about it. But I'm
there are
sorry
three.
to say that such people are not identified.
No,
not
they are all
arrested
identified.
yet.
कैमरा में सब कैद हैं. AIMIM का कॉर्पोरेटर, AIMIM का सोशल मीडिया
Then why
हैंडल
they are not
चलाने वाला
booked? Why they are not
2012 to
booked? Even earlier,
2019.
I'm not
There
talking
is a
about
female
this
leader of the
specific
AIMIM.
incident.
There is a lady who has brought her young child and made that child to chant these. All of them are caught on camera. None of them have been booked by the Telangana government.
Be booked. And
So
the
I am
same
asking you,
way,
will you file a litigation? Will you file a litigation in the Andhra High Court? Will you go ahead and file a litigation, sir, in the High Court there and say that there should
be in Andhra Pradesh.
No, but as a citizen of this country, you have every right to file a petition and say take action against the AIMIM, take action against Asaduddin Owaisi because he's not acted against this people.
Why only me?
Why not you?
I can. Why not? I can. Why not you even?
Absolutely.
Even you
I am
can
asking
do that.
you condemn
you?
it, right? So I'm asking you as a conscientious citizen, as somebody who believes that this should not be allowed, will you do it, sir?
I'm not just condemning, rather I'm demanding an arrest. It's
Go
not just condemning cannot work. I said it. Condemning and we don't approve it, we don't endorse it. It's not sufficient as of now. Now we need an action against everybody who is conducting such kind of blasphemy, either for Hindus or Muslims or Sikhs or whosoever.
No,
So everybody must be booked and not with
this
loose
is
yardsticks
right
like
now.
the
Right now it is not.
technical
Right now it is
fraud
no.
that so that within a couple of hours,
Whoever is making a
culprit is
derogatory
released.
statement, whoever is making a derogatory statement against the Prophet has been acted upon. They have, the party has suspended that person. Now the cops have gone ahead and arrested. The Raja has got bail. But
Do
in
you
the
think
case,
that
in the
is
case of
sufficient?
those who are
Is that sufficient?
in the case of
Is
those
that
who are
su-
calling
when
for
we have a
beheading,
law,
nothing has been done.
Then we have a law
in
in
the case
country.
in the case
Why-
of
that was an action by
Sir,
the party.
sir, the law in the
Fine.
country, the courts are
Fine.
hearing the case. The
Fine.
courts will hear the case, and then the case will be adjudged. Are you going to decide the courts, or are you saying like the PFI is saying that let's start having our own courts outside the courts in Kerala? Let's start having our own courts. People will decide in
We
their
are
own adalat.
actually- we
That
are
Sartan Se
actually
Juda is the
condemning
only
this
answer.
kind of taking the law into their own hands.
Who's taking the law? These
We are
people who are
displaying
standing there
this-
and chanting
this
these
is
slogans
free.
are taking the
This
law.
is
They are
free.
getting a free run.
Whosoever, whosoever, Anand, whosoever, I'm not taking any particular name. Whosoever is taking the law into their own hands, they are extrajudicious. They cannot be allowed. They are criminals.
But so far they have not been. They have not
As
been
simple
arrested.
as it is.
They have been arrested only after they have butchered people.
That is
not
that
when
has
they have
to be
made
answered by
calls
the
for.
Telangana government. That I'm not the chief minister of Telangana.
No, you are
I
not a
cannot
chief minister,
answer
but
it.
you are a citizen of this
We must
country.
have to put
You are
pressure.
a conscientious
We will have
citizen who's
pressure
coming
on the
around and saying
Telangana
that
government.
you condemn this. You do not accept that people who are making
I'm
these
demanding.
calls.
I can only demand. I cannot go and arrest.
No, but you can take action. You
Like
can move
you.
the courts. You can take action. You can write to
Even
the
you
Muslim
cannot
Personal Law
arrest
Board
Anand.
to
We
immediately
can throw such
issue a show
programs.
cause notice. Immediately issue a show cause notice to Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, who is a member of the Muslim Personal Law Board. What his party is doing and why he has not gone ahead and taken action against AIMI.
yes.
You are also a member of the Muslim Personal Law Board. So why can't you ask?
No, I'm not a member of Muslim Personal Law Board. I'm like you. Whatever you are speaking here on a television channel. Same way I'm speaking on this. Nothing is in your end. Nothing is in my end. We can only put a pressure through the democratic means. That's what you are doing. That's what I'm doing.
No,
That's what all our worthy
Shubrashta
panelists
wants
are
to
doing.
come in. Yes, Shubrashta.
Anandji, of course he can do a number of things. To begin with, he should apologize for what he said prior to the whole Nupur Sharma Rao. Will Taslim Rahmani do that? Has he ever done that? Does he feel any shame or does he feel any remorse in his heart that because of him a woman in India can never walk out on the streets of Delhi free? Does he feel remorseful? I don't want to comment on why is he called on national television or whatever, but this is the same gentleman who on your show a couple of minutes ago said that whosoever makes incendiary remarks should be booked. Should Taslim Rahmani be booked? Please ask him. Because I don't think the debate shall move forward till the time this gentleman has takes any responsibility for the words that he spoke.
I am not going to go this way. If with this half information, if somebody is commenting on your channel without any information,
did you not insult the Hindu faith when you said what you did?
I am not going
because
into
I am not
this
going
debate.
to repeat what you
then
did.
Then I am not going into this
Rahmani,
debate, Mr.
I was not
Anand.
speaking. Listen, Anand, this is how this gentleman provokes.
No, I am not answerable to you.
I'm sorry, I am not going to be a Nupur Sharma again. You know, because I am really scared for my life. This gentleman is provocative.
You must not be.
He sits there,
you are a graceful lady, don't
while
be
when
like
they speak. Doesn't even... I'm sorry. No. Hold on. Taslim Rahmani, please go on. Anand, I'm really sorry. Till this gentleman does not apologize for what he has done, because he took a moral high ground today. Because he took a moral high ground, he has to apologize. Because if he does not, then whatever your channel's policy is, I'm not going to meddle in the affairs of your
Anand, if you
channel.
have called me for this,
one minute. Let me call truce here just for a... Let me call truce here. 1 minute, Mr. Rahmani, please wait. Shubhrashta ji, please wait. Mr. Rahmani and Shubhrashta ji, please wait. 1 minute, please wait. Can I be allowed? Can I be allowed to make a point here? No. 1 minute. You have made your point. Mr. Rahmani, you have made your point. Shubhrashta has raised a concern. My point, Mr. Shubhrashta ji, that what Mr. Rahmani's claim is that the charges against him are not profound. They are baseless. He did not make the utterances that he's being...
propaganda, rumors.
Okay. 1 minute. Mr. Rahmani, can I speak now?
No,
Mr. Rahmani, please wait. I am making a statement here. Please don't speak over me. Now, Mr. Rahmani, please wait. No, don't try and dictate terms. Mr. Rahmani, I am trying to intervene and I am trying to take the debate forward. Mr. Rahmani, please do not make me raise my voice. Shubhrashta ji, please wait. Mr. Rahmani, like I am repeatedly telling you, please wait, let me complete, please don't speak over me. I am saying Mr. Rahmani's claim at this point is that the charges against him are not profound, they are baseless, and he believes he did not make the utterances, he is being alleged to make that utterance. My point is that it did not happen on my channel, it did not happen here. If Ms. Shubhrashta, you believe what he said is wrong and he should be booked for it, please pursue the legal recourse and the measures that you have at your disposal to take him to charge and take him to task if you believe what he's done is wrong, and let Mr. Rahmani defend himself in a court of law. Right now, I am not going to take a position on either ways. You are entitled to your view, Shubhrashta ji. So Mr. Rahmani is entitled to his view. I would like to focus on the debate right now, because the fact is that those who are making these calls and those who are insulting, like the likes of Akbaruddin Owaisi, from 9 years he has insulted Hindu deities and Hindu faith and he has not apologized. But his brother stands there and wants an apology, public apology from H. Raja. His party members stand there and make Sar Tanse Juda calls, and his own political affiliations in the TRS do not arrest such people and allow them to chant Sar Tanse Juda on the streets. What should be done there? Let's focus on that, and I request you, Shubhrashta ji.
Yeah. All right, Anand. Point taken, and I don't want to pursue it further. What's there is there in the public domain. Mr. Rahmani can refute with all his might, but video evidences cannot be doctored. You also know it. I also know it. Moving on. Look, what AIMIM chief has been doing has been, it's out there in the open for a pretty long time. But the kind of protests that people like us are putting up, Anand, I think that's the only way forward. You have to delegitimize these political voices, whether they are of politicians or they are of so-called analysts or they are of so-called supporters of XYZ ideology. If you feel, and I genuinely feel, that the kind of statements that come from AIMIM chief are incendiary. The spokespersons are not as provocative as the chief is. Also, why just AIMIM? Did you listen to what Rashid Khan, that Congress
Feroz Khan also
leader, talked about yesterday? It was also on one national television. He went on to say that if the government does not take any action, he will be forced to take the mob and demand and take recourse to justice. These are all statements in the public domain. My question is, why? I'm sorry I don't want to polarize this debate. I don't want to communalize it. But this is a hardcore fact. Have you ever seen any person from the Hindu community say so? So many things have been said about Shivling. I mean, this gentleman here has talked about Gyan Vapi in such, in such terminology that it boils my blood. But I never said, people like me never said that I'm going to, put out a Trishul and finish Taslim Rahmani's life. I never said that. I would never say that. And if anybody would say it on my behalf, I would go and take a public position against it. What stops these people from taking a stand on their community, whatever the fringe elements are from their community?
You are trying to malign me this way, and Subhrashta is cleverly trying to malign me.
No,
I don't understand. No,
but Mr. One minute. Subhrashta is trying to be cleverly maligning you. But what are these? What are the AIMIM and the Congress party trying to do by cleverly trying to say that go ahead and punch a person, go ahead and make these claims of Sartan se Juda? So that is a very convenient position to take at this point in time. So one, you provide cover fire, you say, oh, what they are saying is wrong. But when they say it, you don't take action against them. Ratan Shardaji. Why? So H. Raja should be arrested. Nupur Sharma should be suspended, is suspended. Her comments are derogatory. But those who are standing there and openly endorsing and giving fire to Sartan se Juda, no action should be taken against them.
See, enough have been said about Raja. I've already said that what he said was unwarranted. But coming to the main issue, how did it start? The mischief by TRS, by calling a person who has been debarred from most of the states because he abused the Hindu gods, he got a hero's welcome. He was invited with a remark that we welcome freedom of opinion, we welcome difference of opinion. That is the TRS comment by CM, as I read in the newspaper. So this particular gentleman calls him. Then to protect him, he puts 1,000 policemen to save him. On the other side, D. Raja, who is trying to stop the show, he's arrested. That is one. Then he comes out, makes a statement. There is a police warrant against him. He is arrested, but people who made the ruckus of Ratan Sante Juda and all that bullshit, these people are not handled. Rashid Khan goes to police station, in the camera says what Shubhatsa said, 24 घंटे में नहीं पकड़ा तो आग लगा दूंगा. He has not been arrested. TRS guy in all the channels are saying that we are working. 2 days are over. No work. People went to police station, stood in front of police, said Sartan se Juda. No action. So please spare me this noble thoughts that Mr. Owaisi has not taken action against his Waris Pathan, his own brother who insulted Hindu gods, his own MP who said hang Nupur Sharma from the corner of any pole, and then himself making all this stuff, and the corporators now being encouraged by how Rashid Khan was there. A kashaf, a person calling himself social media in charge of MIM, goes on TV, very carelessly flicks the phone, laughs and all. He has no answer, no argument, but he's there because he says no action. Why no action? Because TRS and MIM sleeping partners. So all this secularism fraud on one-way street has to stop. And since you're talking hypocrisy, Munawwar he becomes a celebrity, and Raja goes to jail. Then Nupur Sharma is forever banned in life till as long as she can save herself. And Mr. Taslim Rahmani is on the TV channels all the while. I was in the channel Second for Humor. I was in the same channel in the same debate. And he's a celebrity now. So that is the difference. There is half-hearted way we have this so-called secularism, where there is no uniform law, there is no law, there is one law for minorities and goons, another law for gentlemen Hindus who go to police station, still they are told you are intolerant, you are intolerant, you are intolerant. So when Ratan Lal in Delhi University calls something horrible, a woman on the social media puts horrible image, there is no action, there is no Sartan se Juda, because the Hindus don't believe in that. But on the other side, you see what is happening on the streets. And I will my last comment. I will ask everybody, whoever is there, if Taslim is still around, then I will ask them whether they will agree to ban Sartan se Juda as a terminology, ban Kafir as a terminology, because these are hateful comments, these are violent prone comments. Unless we ban these words from the public discourse and take criminal action, these will create more and more blood. what is happening now is crescendo. Look at it. In coming days, Hyderabad will get into more active mode and none of them will be any wiser, because I challenge anybody to say that, okay, these can be legalized, especially the so-called seculars and so-called, Islamic well-wishers who are on the panel or anywhere else. And I demand that these words be banned by central government, by state government, and state government shuts down the shops. It doesn't shut down it doesn't arrest the people who are making all the, the incendiary comments, but it shuts down the shops. It's so helpless. It cannot do anything. And this drama of secular parties must stop. Either we have secularism which treats everybody, on the same way, or let that secularism word again be removed from the constitution, which is put by
I'm going to check. I'm going to check if Tasneem Rahmani ji is going to join us back, because it's a straightforward question that Ratan Sharda ji. No. It's a straightforward question that Ratan Sharda ji has asked. Whether he's scared, it's his choice, because we continue to remain democratic. We continue to not try and tell people what they should say and what they should not do and what they will demand. We follow the rule of the law and the decorum of the debate. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Rahmani said that he is against Sartan Se Juda. The question is, does he believe that these two words should be banned, Sartan Se Juda, or this idiom or this phrase? And of course,
they also said, La ilaha illallah. What is La ilaha illallah? That only Allah is the true God, all other gods are false. That is also provocative. I'm not going to that extent. Let them do puja at home, let them do namaz at home and say whatever they want to say. But we hear it 5 times a day. We have not objected. Since this is becoming poisonous, we will raise the questions on these terminologies also.
No, that is a separate, that's a matter for debate, discussion later on and in terms of deliberation. But the point is, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, so what? Do you realize, do you take a hard stance? So do Hindus also turn around and say, we will also get aggressive, we will also get virulent, we will also then, so then where does it stop? Because everybody will end up whacking each other and calling for each other's heads. Is that who we are as a country?
So herein lies the problem. This is the tyranny of the intolerant and this is the tyranny of the street veto. Sadly, the intolerance and the street veto are both on one side. All right. Now, the problem is, first of all, by doing all of this, by having these one-sided laws which favor only one community, or at least one-sided application of laws, you are encouraging them to come out more and get more and more violent. It is basically appeasement. What happened at Munich repeated over and over again. Number one. Number two, the problem is you are also incentivizing Hindus to behave like this because, we keep quiet. Remember what happened when that alleged fact checker, his case was brought up in the court. The judge said, oh, Hinduism is a very tolerant religion. We don't accept, you can insult us. It's fine. Okay, so you are basically incentivizing Hindus to get the street veto, start getting violent, get on the street, so that we also get a street veto. So remember, this kind of selective application of law, it encourages violence, not just from the perpetrators, it also encourages violence from the victims. Because in order to get heard, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, you apparently have to come out on the streets and start burning and killing people. So let's be clear, it is the very worst application of any principles. It is the very worst application of the rule of law. It has made a mockery of the rule of law. There is no rule of law in this country. It is a joke. Secularism in this country is a joke. When you have selective religious application of these rules, by what face can you call yourself secular? We are already the Islamic Emirate of Hindustan.
Now, I have Mr. Rahmani saying, I'm going to request him and I'm urging him to come back and join us on the show. He agrees with you, Ratan Sharda ji. He says, Sartan Se Juda is a criminal slogan, must be banned and chanting must be declared a cognizable offence. So,
kafir?
So the word kafir, I'm going to ask him to come out. No, the word kafir, let him come back. I'm going to request him to, he's watching the broadcast, I'm going to request him to join us for another 5 minutes in the debate and then make his point very, very clearly. He believes that la ilaha illallah is part of the belief and you cannot get into that space as far as banning is concerned, but he believes Sartan Se Juda should be banned. Mr. Rahmani, I'm going to again, live on television, ask you to come back and join us since you're watching the broadcast. But Shubhrashta ji, the other aspect, like he was talking about street veto, he was talking about what Abhijit Iyer Mitra was talking about. In this case, how do you take the Telangana government to task? The government's job is to enforce law and order and keep that equal in the eye of the law. Anybody who's causing a public disturbance or incentivizing violence and hate, should be taken to task. So action against Rashid Khan should have happened. Action against Firoz Khan should have happened. Action against all the AIMIM voices should have happened. Because these people, rather than taking to the streets and making these slogans and calls, should have filed a police complaint.
Correct. And if not, then at least somebody from TRS should come and take a position as to why they are not doing what their government is supposed to do. But do you see any political representative either submitting ideally there should be, because it's a matter which has been brewing in the country for a very long time. You know, people are out on the streets at the slightest provocation to either demand Sartan se Juda or, you know, to actually literally lynch somebody and make a video. Then I think any state government under whose jurisdiction such nonsense is happening, they should just come up with a white paper and explain their position as to why they are not taking any action against the mob. As somebody who has worked on elections and as somebody who has been a political strategist for good, 13 elections in the past, let me tell you very clearly, this is all because the mob that you see on the streets right now are the people who vote either the TRS or the AIM to either to power or, you know, send their MPs to the Lok Sabha. So they are not going to take any action. This is basic political prudence. They are never going to take any action against them. Silence is golden, because then when you are silent, you are basically sending a message to the electorate that it's fine, we'll handle it at our end, by either not speaking or not sending any public representative. And let me also tell you, this drama that Mr. Rahmani is putting up, that he's offended. First of all, nobody spoke when Mr. Rahmani was speaking.
Yep.
But whenever I spoke, and again, he cannot deny that he did not do it. It's all out on public record. Whenever I spoke, he butted in between to speak something or the other. And why is he feeling offended? What he spoke on the other news channel, I don't want to take the news channel's name also. What he spoke on that news channel is out there in the public domain. He should actually put out a video and say that this is the actual clip. This is how I was venerating Lord Shiva. This is how I was actually, paying obeisance to Lord Shiva, not talking anything nonsensical about the Shivling. He should actually put out a video in the public domain, or as an apology. He should make a fresh video and say this is his position on Lord Shiva. This is how he believes in the Shiv Mahatmya. All his sins would be purged. As Hindus, we are actually pretty tolerant, and I'm not saying it with a pinch of salt. I'm saying it with all humility and grace at hand. We are very tolerant. We will forgive him, provided he comes out with a video. Because, you know, Anand, as a woman, I'm taking this position today. My Nupur is a very close friend of mine. And I actually feel scared for her life. And many people out there feel scared for her life.
No, so
she's never ever going to walk free. I spoke on the streets of Delhi. She's never going to walk free on the streets anywhere in the world.
No, so then,
that's the condition.
So if that is the case, then
upon and what's happening in Hyderabad.
If that is the case, Ratan Sharda ji, then those people who are encouraging Sartan se Juda, will they take responsibility for the butchering of Kanhaiya Lal and Umesh Kole? Will these people who have openly come out and said, then the court should say, you said it? Just like the courts observed, right? They had certain observations to make on Nupur Sharma's comments. Will they take around and turn around and tell Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi and his party members, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and her party members, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and her party members, who are coming out and saying, go out and hit Raja if there is no action, if he does not apologize. Go out and beat him up. I will come out and take a mob and I'll do it if you don't arrest him. Who are calling for making these calls, will they take responsibility if tomorrow something happens to H. Raja or Nupur Sharma? Ratan Sharda ji.
No, Anand, these people are silent collaborators, the cover fire people of these jihadi Islamist elements. That is why they will not say this, they will not do anything. It is very clearly shown by Owaisi's action, and they have come on TV every time they come, they say that okay, what is happening is wrong, Sartan is wrong, but every time there is a but with double T, saying that Raja started it, Nupur started it, and there are defensive people on the channel who say yes, they started it. They said something. Actually, both statements are very different. One is the heat of the debate, other is deliberate. That's why I said what he said was unwarranted. At the same time, then they said that is why we cannot stop Sartan se Juda. Did Hindus ever go for Sartan se Juda all this time? Did they run riot when the Gyanvapi survey was stopped? When they made fun for 10 days before things went out of hand and government had to take action? No, sir. This is the problem. That these people are silent collaborators. I have today tweeted a news item where this Sartan se Juda came from Pakistan.
Yes, Tehreek
So
al-Labad.
2011. So
It
these
originated
people
from there.
copy Pakistan. They want India to become Pakistan. They want to become what Ziaul made Pakistan into hell. They want the same hell in India. Because for them, any lifestyle is fine. बाकी सब तो कोई ऊपर वाला देख लेगा. But here we will not allow people in peace because that is the motto across the world. India is not the only one. Any excuse, any society, it can be Nigeria, it can be Kenya, it can be Somalia, it can be Sweden, Denmark, US, anything. But will anybody say this is wrong? Will somebody rise and say there are Maulanas on the TV coming very boldly saying that what they say is not even in Islam? How many such Maulanas we need? How many such Maulanas should be encouraged by TV channels to come and speak boldly? But we get these bigots and they will keep on defending these indefensible people and this violent language. That is our problem.
Well, it is. And will the governments of the day responsible for law and order and who are being accused of one-sided action or one-sided crackdown on hate mongering, will they take responsibility if tomorrow something untoward happens? The lawyer who did his job as a lawyer to defend Raja Singh has received 3 threat calls. One of which he says the number originated from UAE, the others are local numbers. So tomorrow something happens to him, who's going to take responsibility? Will the state and the police take responsibility?
Even has been threatened.
Yeah, it is. That's true. I have to wind up for the moment. Subrashta ji, Ratan Sharda ji, Abhijit Iyer Mitra ji, thank you very, very much. Tasleem Rahmani sahab, thank you for joining us on the debate, and we wish you would have joined back. Hopefully the next time around you will come here and clarify your point wholeheartedly on these comments and these slogans which are now becoming common in India. Medieval, barbaric slogans which are attached with the Dushman and also with the Talibanis and culture which is not akin to our country. How is it becoming commonplace in our country? That's the bigger question. We're going to take a very, very short break. When we come back, it's the biggest catch after Ajmal Amir Kasab. And it's the Pakistan terror truth. The involvement of the Pakistani army from the mouth of the terrorist. The confessions of this terrorist who was caught alive in Nowshera just this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up, stay with us.